Jariya Selvaraj sir for giving me a wonderful opportunity to introduce our chief guest. It is a great honor for me to introduce and welcome the chief guest for this startingly beautiful morning. I would welcome our honorable chief guest and my respected sir, Dr. R. Sundaraj, Assistant Professor in Commerce, Ayanagar Gangamar College, Krishnasamy. Welcome, sir. You have 15 years of teaching experience in commerce and specialized in the areas like entrepreneurship, soft skill training, and public speaking, and also trained 2,500 students. He is the Dean of Academic Affairs and Research, editor in Punjab Journal of Humanities and Social Science, coordinator of Comprehensive, coordinator of Rapport, assistant coordinator of college industry collaborative group, editor in Fantasy, Students Magazine, member of IPRCL, member of Study in India Cell, and Students Counselor. In the year 2012 to 2013, he worked as head Department of Commerce, Nehru Arts and Science College, Coimbatore. In the year September 2004 to April 2012, he worked as head Department of Commerce and International Business, UG and PG, BLB Janagamal College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore. Chairman in Board of Studies for Commerce in the year 2011 to 12, BLB Janagamal College. Committee members for MAC, ISO, and Autonomous Status. Convener for Bharatiyar and Annamalai University examination in the year 2006 to 2010. He has organized 3 national seminars, lectures, quiz, and entrepreneurial expo. He is also a professor in entrepreneurship awareness, communication skill, interview skill, and memory techniques. Resource person for FTP programs and a coordinator for National Entrepreneurship Network in the year 2011. He organized 8-day FTP program at Nehru Arts and Science College. And he also prepared teaching learning aids like video lessons on entrepreneurship and open source communication, created Android apps, and prepared MLM on entrepreneurship. Let us invite our honorable chief guest, Dr. R. Sundaraj, to express their valuable in the topic of efficient and efficient classroom. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much, Madhuvendra. That was a very wonderful introduction, an academic introduction you have given. And first of all, let me thank the management of Krishnasamy College for giving me this opportunity to be associated with you all. And let me present my views on the given topic. And also, I would like to thank the principal, Selvaraj sir, Vaidehi madam, Madhyandana, and all the organizing members for taking a lot of pain and organizing such program, which keeps us associated, even we are far away from each other. So, thanks to the technology also, which gives an opportunity even in the situation like this, in this pandemic, our work keeps going on. Even still we stay at home, our work's going on. So this is what the need of the hour is. We have to change, we have to adopt according to the system. See, 2 or 3 months back, we never expected that this type of online classes or webinars will be conducted, or this was possible in India. But you just imagine, within a month's time, we learned all these platforms. We became used to it, and we adopted it within a month's time. We thought that India will take another 5 years or 10 years to adopt these type of technologies, but no, within a month's time we have adopted, changed, totally converted ourselves, and we have adopted to this type of technology. And even there was a talk that people in rural background, students in rural areas may not be having a facility like that. So but still, you just imagine, everybody is using, except for 1 or 2, the flaws is very less. Everybody is using that. Now imagine, is it not possible? Of course it is possible. I hope you are able to see the screen, PowerPoint screen. Can I just get one feedback from one participant? Are you able to see the screen?
Sir, is it clear, sir?
Right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Screen is visible, sir.
Right. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Now, that's why I wanted to choose this topic, that efficient and exigent classroom, since we are into this profession of teaching. I hope every participant here is a teacher, and everybody will be having the same problem when they enter into the class, even if they are a fresher, they experienced, or even if they have a very vast experience in this field of teaching, they often experience a little bit of difficulties in the classroom when you attend to manage 60 70 students in the class. Why it happens is, every time these students are demanding, they are very much demanding, they are very much exigent. Exigent means they are demanding, they want something, right? And we always try to compare them with ourselves when we were a student, right? This is what happens. And we also tell them, always used to tell them, that when I was a student I was like this, no, you are not behaving like this. See, that is not the period. That was something 20 30 years ago. Now, situation, environment cannot be the same 20 30 years back and today. 2 months back we were handling classes in the classroom, and today we are handling classes in online. So things keeps changing, and we have to change according to the time, because these are not the students of our generation, where they have everything ready made. They have got everything ready made. Just in a click of a button they will get everything. They can get even more than what you can teach them. So that is the present scenario. Is it right or not? I'm very much confident about it. I'm very much correct about it. Whatever we teach them, if they log into the net, they will get more than what can we teach to them. Now, this is the only difference, is we have a face-to-face interaction, and they have something online. Nothing else. No other difference is there. According to me, there is nothing. But what they want, they don't come to the class to have a face-to-face interaction. Or sometimes they are not there, or they are not spending their entire day sitting in the class just to have an interaction with teachers. They want to learn, they want to know a lot of things, right? And this is only possible when we are updating ourselves to that level. We should be always a step ahead of our students. Then only they will be respecting us, then only they will be understanding, or they will be having an interest in our class. Or else these people will think that I can get more in Google, I can get more from internet. Why should I sit in the class and listen to you? And they are not wrong in that. Just because they are students and we are teachers, we cannot think them to behave like that. We have to make them behave like that. They will not behave by themselves. We have to make them. And this is very important. This is what I'm going to share my experience. As Madhivantana madam has given a very good academic introduction of mine, apart from that I want to introduce myself. You can say the second part of me, which I think is more relevant, which defines me more properly. That is, see, I have lived in different states in India, almost 14 different states in India. I did my schoolings from Delhi, then graduations from Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu. I did my post graduation from National College, Tirchi, MPhil from Jamal Muhammad College. Then I came to Coimbatore, I settled. I worked there 10 years in different colleges. I did my PhD from Bardiyar University. So, and all these, why I am telling you all this is, I know 5 languages. I can adopt to different cultures, multicultural person. Why I am telling you all this is, I have an experience, and a little bit of experience what others may not have. All that academic experiences everybody will be having, right? So it does not differentiates me from them. But this sort of experience what I have got, maybe I think it's unique, and it stands me out of the crowd. And how it is relevant here is, I when I worked in different colleges, rural colleges, topmost colleges, urban colleges, colleges in Coimbatore like GRD. So I get a bit more exposure, and I get an opportunity to learn about the students, different type of students in rural areas, students in urban areas. I can have a comparison between them. I come to contact in a lot of teachers in different colleges, different systems, different cultures, different cultures, even outside India, or sorry, outside Tamil Nadu, North India, and all. So when I work in all these places, I learn something from them, and that is what I want to share here today with you. So this was a question when I joined my profession in 2003. I had a very great difficulty in handling the classroom. I had a very great difficulty. I tried all my techniques, right? What we generally do, we just scold the students to keep quiet in the class. Will they listen to you? They may listen to you for 5 minutes. We start yelling at them. What happens? This will become fun for the class, and the entire class will be, or and the content that you wanted to deliver to them will not happen. That is because we were not able to perform as we were prepared to perform, only because of some disturbances that rose in the class, and we failed to handle such type of situations, and we ended up in this type of mess. This is what happens. So let me explain. The education system what we follow today is not an Indian education system. This is a British education system. Actually, Indian education system is what you see in the screen, Gurukulam system. Right? In this Gurukulam system, what happens? A boy or a girl till the age of 10 will stay at home. They will not go to any school till the age of 10. They will stay at their home. They will learn everything from their home. The home is the best institution, society is the best institution. They will learn everything from the society, relationships, values, friends, society values, family values, relationship values. All these things they will learn from their home and society till the age of 10. Only after the age of 10 they will be taken to the Gurukulam, left there for another next 16 years. Next to 16 years, they will stay at the Gurukulam. They cannot come home, fully residential, and they have to learn everything in that 16 years. These students will be taught everything: arts, science, humanities, dance, music, uh, self defense techniques, architecture, engineering, medicine, technology. Everything they will be taught in that 16 years. And after that 16 years, they are uh, they will be they complete their education and they are allowed to go. So that means 10 years they stayed at home, another 16 years they spend at Gurukulam. So in the age of 26, when they come out of Gurukulam, they are perfect human beings. They are perfect human beings means they have all the skills they want to survive. They know everything to survive, right? That was the reason why India was a very strong country, and the Britishers, when they came to rule India for 400 years, they were not able to do anything. They were just doing business. They were not able to take over India. And this gentleman, Thomas Babington Macaulay, who is also known as an British architect, was the reason behind demolishing of this Gurukulam system and introducing this British education system. Now, what he did is Britishers were not able to take over India as they were successful in other countries. They were not successful in India. So they called Macaulay and asked to make a study and give the report. And Macaulay went through the length and breadth of the country, and saw that he realized that education in India is very good. And when this education in India is very good, we cannot take over this country. So first thing what we should do is have to uproot the education system from India. That Gurukulam system, they uprooted all the Gurukulams. They demolished all the Gurukulams, and they implemented this British education. They brought this British education system, what we are following right now, right? This may be good in some situations, but sometimes it is not good, as we see that Indians, we are not able to cope with the education standards of the entire world, right? There is some lacking what we do. All universities are doing good in India. Now, we are not here to talk about that. Just I wanted to introduce. If you know that, we will be easier. It will be easier for us to learn from the different things. See what happens. We are able to produce only 25% of the employable graduates. That means 100 people graduate, only 25 are employable, remaining 75 are unskilled. Still they are not prepared for employment. And we say that we have an employment problem in India. Employment problem in India is not because of employment opportunities. It is because of unskilled students, unskilled products. Unskilled students who graduate out of college is another big reason for this employment problems. So no company will hire you if you're not fit to do the job. Why should they pay you if you're not expecting, if you're not meeting out their expectations? So this is not going to happen, right? And this 25% is only in the case of New Delhi. In Tamil Nadu it is only 10%. That means students who are graduating out of Tamil Nadu, out of 100 students, only 10 students are able to be getting a placement. They are having that employability skill. 90 students are not able to get employment, a proper employment. So this is very alarming situation. We have the most number of arts and science colleges, most number of engineering colleges and polytechnic colleges, but still the employment skill we are not able to develop in the students, because all the time we are diverted into something else, what we will discuss in the coming slides. And what happens, these unemployed peoples will increase the production cost. And when you increase the production cost of the company is not going to keep you. They will kick you out, they will fire you out. And every year new peoples will be recruited in that place, and same will happen next year. So that's why we think that people are getting employment. But statistics says that once a graduate is employed into a company, he is not staying there for even for 6 months or 1 year. He is going out. So that vacancy is again filled up by another new fresher, and this keeps on going on. So there is no proper employment where you can have a stable tenure in that organization for a longer period of time. We are not able to. And all these things, I'm not saying, this is a report given by NASSCOM. What is NASSCOM? NASSCOM is National Association for Software and Service Companies. So this NASSCOM has given this report, and I think this is very alarming. For every teacher we have to know this statistics. We should know that what we are producing, the students what we are producing is of what standards they are. So what we have to do for that, right? Right. So it becomes really challenging to deal with and challenging students. As I said, there may be a class of 60, 70 people sitting in the class, and most of the students will be challenging students. They are demanding students. They want something which we are not able to expect. Right, we are not able to identify their demands. We are not able to check what they want. We just keep going with our curriculum, right? And what happens, we just keep yelling at them, we just keep scolding, and half of the class goes on scolding, and our entire efficiency, rather than putting in productive work, we waste it in this type of issues with challenging students. And really believe me, what we really do is we make the difficult students even worse. மோசமானவனை இன்னும் மோசமா, this is what is happening, right? So we should not do that. We should not do that. So if there is a challenging student, we have to handle him or her in a different manner. We have to understand. Right? We should not make the difficult students even worse. That will become more challenging to us only. So we have to find other ways what we are going to see. Why it is happening? Why there are difficult students in classrooms? Are they where is there inborn quality they have? No, they have developed such type of attitude in them. Why they have developed? Sometimes we are the reasons for it, right? We have to accept it. I accept, if my students fail, that's a failure of mine. If my students success, that's my success. And I feel a lot when I am not able to bring a student to the right track. Right? Everybody can pass an exam. Passing an exam is not an issue. That is the simplest thing what can happen. Passing an examination is not the real success. Every 100% people passed in my subject, I'm a good teacher. No, not at all. Passing is not what results in output. That is the examination. That is one event. where they succeed. That's it. How they succeed in life, where they, when you teach in classroom, where they able to sit for the entire class and listen to you. That is the real success we get every day, right? A good teacher should always be able to see that whether he is satisfied with his work. He should be satisfied with his work. I sacrificed in central government job for this job. You won't believe, I still have that appointment letter with me. I sacrificed a central government job to become a teacher, and I started my career with 1,300 rupees. That was my first month's salary, 1,300 rupees. I sacrificed an IT company job which offered me 14,000 rupees in the year 2003. I sacrificed it and I came to this teaching profession for 1,300 rupees because I believe the job that I got in a central government or the job that I got in an IT company will not give me satisfaction. Even I am getting 1,300 rupees in this profession, I will get satisfaction, and that is why the journey that I have made till today, right from 2003, 17 years, I am happy. I'm happy with my profession. I am improving. I am doing good. Every day I improve. Every time I improve. Even in this lockdown period, I have made lot of, uh, I have developed lot of educational contents for my students. Right? Right. Now coming to the point, why it happens, we pay too much of attention to them. Right? As soon as you enter into a classroom, right? You know where these kind of challenging students will sit, normally in the back bench or somewhere in the corner. So immediately as you enter into the classroom, your attention will go to them, right? And hello madam, कट से तो हमारे ज्वाइन करने का sorry, I'm back. There was some technical fault. I think, madam, you are able to see me and hear to me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. We'll just resume with our session. So sorry for the disturbance. Yeah. So we start with here. Comparing with others. So I think we left here. So we should not compare that student with other students. We should not compare them, right? They are good in something, others may be good in something. So we have to identify what is good in something, what is good in them, and we can just go with that, right? So we have to avoid it. We have to find other ways to make them understand what they lack, right? And often we pass very rude negative comments, right? He is like he is good for nothing, he cannot be successful, he can never be successful in his life, or he's not properly prepared to take up this, and how did he get it? So always we speak negative about him or her, and again this turns into a disaster. When we keep doing that, that turns into a disaster, right? And what happens after some time, he will say that yes, I am a negative person, I am an idiot, I will behave like this only, and that will become really challenging. So that's what told you in the first slide, that we should not make the difficult students even worse, right? When they were a little bit difficult, we should have settled things then itself, instead of making it more worse, and then trying to find a solution. When it was this little thing, we should have settled things then itself, right? And of most of the easiest or the common punishment what students get is making them stand outside. Why do you make the students to stand outside? Hmm? You are senior to him, you are holding more degrees than him, you are more educated than him, and why do you send the students outside the classroom? Because you are not able to control him, you are not able to handle him. So that's not his failure, that's our failure, I believe. So when I did that, right, everything I am speaking is out of my experience only. When I did that, when I went sent some students out of the class, make them stand out of the class, and I go with my work, I was something was inching in my mind that why should I send the students out? He's just a small student, he's just a fellow who is not even I am elder than him in terms of age, I am senior to him in terms of education qualifications, I call myself to be very much experienced. Then why cannot I handle him? I never send. That was the last incident when I sent him out of the class. Now I never send him out of the class. I never want him to, because when you send him out of the class, we think that the situation is out of control. No, the next day again he is going to sit in your class only. Again you are going to send him out. The next day he will go and come and sit in your class. What will you do then? This cannot happen to the entire semester. This cannot happen for his entire period of graduation. Right? So the day one itself, we have to see, yeah, this is a challenging student. Right? We will do something for him. Right? Even if you're one class you are sacrificing to make him understand, you do some activities, that really I do. Right? In my initial class, when I go to a class for first time, in my initial days or one or two classes, I'll teach them values. I conduct some activities and I tell them some case studies and stories where they will realize that yes, why they are into the college and why what should happen to them. You have to give some examples, real time examples. You have to tell them that how important they are, what is their value. Each and everybody sitting in your class is an valuable person. Everybody has good in them, right? You have to find examples from the real world and you have to show them, see, this was a person like you and now he is like this. The only thing is he transformed himself. The only thing is he converted himself. Right? Most of the things, positive examples, negative examples, everything you have to tell them. And believe me, friends, students learn from you, not through your speech or not through blackboard or not through the materials that you give him. They learn from your behavior. How you behave, they will also behave. You ask yourself, who is your role model? You will tell a teacher. The teacher is my model. Yes, my role model is my teachers. I follow the footsteps of my teachers. Everybody does that. Right? The characteristics we build in ourselves is from our teachers. How they teach, how they talk, what we should do, what we should not do, everything we have learned from our teachers. That means those things they have not taught to us. They behaved and we learned from them. So we learn more from their behavior. So likewise, your students will learn more from your behavior rather than what you teach to them. You are teaching only subject. That subject will go after the semester is over, but you and the student will remain forever. So they will learn from you how you behave. You are active, they will be active. You are positive, they will be positive. You are rude, they will be rude. This is happening. This is happening. So I have stopped scolding students. I never scold any student now. Few of my students are there, they know that I never scold any student. I even not even shout at them. Right? If there is someone challenging, I'll handle him very easily. Handling a challenging student is the easiest task what I can do. How I do, I have mentioned. I'll give you some hints also, right? And never do this last point. Teacher leaving the class or crying. Yeah, hello, madam. மறுபடியும் கட் ஆயிடுச்சுங்களா? ஓ, ஓகே. திருப்பி கட் ஆக சண்டை. சொல்லுங்க மேடம். அது ட்ரை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். அது என்ன ரெஸ்பாண்டே ஆக மாட்டேங்குது, என்னன்னு தெரியல. ட்ரை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன் மேடம். அது ரெஸ்பாண்டே ஆக மாட்டேங்குது, என்னன்னு தெரியல. ஐ ஜஸ்ட் ட்ரை. ஒரு 2 மினிட்ஸ் மேடம், வந்துட்டேன். ஏறாகி யூடியூப் எல்லாம் போச்சு. Hello madam, is that clear? Can you hear me madam? Hello. Hello. Okay, okay madam. Okay. Now, sorry friends, I don't know why this technical flaws are there. I think some problem on my side. There was a flaw in network connectivity, so it's back now. No, so I just want a response from one participant. If you can see the slide and if you can listen to me. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll continue. So sorry for the small disturbances. So teacher leaving the class or crying. So why is it happening? Why it happens? The teacher leaves the class or crying. So that means students are better than us. Most of the time it happens with freshers. Students know that they are freshers and they try to have fun with them, right? So I was also a fresher. Everybody happens to be. We graduate, we join the first day of our college as teachers. So the first class will be a very challenging class. We will be frightened, we will be scared to see the students sitting. And you know what is the real reason for that scare? Why we are afraid of going to the class? Because we don't know what our standard is and how you are going to meet out the expectations of the students, right? Students are sitting there with some expectations, and you go there, you go there to fulfill their expectations, and you are afraid that you may or you may not be able to fulfill their expectation. And this is the problem, which makes us nervous, which reduces our confidence. And when you go to the class on the first day, it seems to be very challenging. Yes, of course it should be there. So when you know that you are there to fulfill their expectations, You have to be prepared for it. You have to be prepared for it. Students sitting in the class, all the 60 of them or 70 of them will not be having the same kind of expectations. They will be having different kind of expectations. So you have to try to satisfy all the expectations. So first you have to learn what their expectations is, and when you are not able to understand their expectation, this will happen. Students will start having fun with you, and we will end up running out of the class or start crying, because we think that that's our failure, right? So not, it's not so. We need not run out of the class, or we need not leave the class. Never leave the class, or never make the students to go out of your class. So that should be the first thing what you should do, right? It's your area, it's your empire, where you are the king, and you have to make all of them sit, and you have to satisfy them, right? Okay. Now, these are some general behaviors that we generally observe in students. Disrespectful, right? We find their behavior to be very much disrespectful, and we often scold them for that. They don't wish us, they behave something uh, irritatingly, they don't respect us, right? Why do they respect you, or why don't they respect us? It generally happens with me also. I have faced this kind of irritations a lot of times. So I think that if the student is not respecting me, that means I am not able to fulfill something what he wants. So first I have to understand what he wants, right? Give respect, take respect, that all concepts are we have to understand, right? That is something different, right? First we have to be successful, because only a challenging student will make you grow, will challenging students will make you develop, right? If a class is silent and nobody is asking any question, they just come, they just write and just go, we will never develop. We will just remain what we are. Only these challenging students develop special skills in us, and we develop, right? So I developed only because of a lot of challenging students I had got, right? And they give a mouth back. Mouth back, எதிர்த்து பேசுறாங்கன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So they give a mouth back. When you talk, they also talk. When you say something to them, they will say something back to you, right? They give a mouth back. So again, that is disrespectful, right? There is a learning disability. All the students will not understand the way you teach, right? They may be having some learning disabilities. So out of 60, 10 or 15 may be comfortable with the way you teach, because their learning methodology is matching with your teaching style. So what happens, we satisfied those 15 students. There will be another 15 or 20 students who might have understood 50% of what you have taught. There may be another 10 to 15 peoples who have not at all understand what you have taught, right? So you have taught everyone the same thing, but 15-20 students learn from you, 15-20 students learn somewhat from you, and another 15 or 20 students learn nothing from you. That is their learning disability. I'm not saying that you are not teaching properly, you are teaching properly, but there is an learning disability with them. They have to be taught with some different techniques. They have to be taught with some new pedagogy, new methodology, where they find it comfortable, and where they find it good, they are convenient, or which is easier for them to learn, right? So again, we have to work on this. I will tell you one methodology where you can do this. Not completing the work in time. You give them assignments, you give them some task, they will never complete in time. Even if you give a lot of days to complete the assignment, which hardly takes 1 or 2 days, they will never do that, because they don't want to do that. That is the real reason. They will be giving you a lot of reasons that they don't have time, they were out of station, they were a lot of excuses they may be telling you, but the actual reason is they don't want to do your work. So that means what is lacking there. You have to understand why they have not done, whether they don't respect me, or whether they are not going to listen to me. Why is it so? So instead of getting irritated, we have to find the reason, so that we can rectify the reasons, we can approve all the unnecessary things. Then arguing for grades, right? Sometimes some students will come to you and argue that you should give better marks to them, and okay, all these things happens, right? These are general behaviors that we observe in our students. Late arrivals, often they keep coming to your class late, and they will give an standard excuses for them. They missed the bus, the bus was late. So you cannot do anything, because when you see that these are not in their hands, what will you do? Right? Bus was late, what can they do? So we have to allow them. So this is what happens, and they will take that for granted. So they will keep giving such type of excuses, right? Excessive absence, right? They keep they don't come to the college regularly, and they remain absent for several days, and even their parents will not knowing it. They will start from their home to the college, but they will not come to the college. They will not come to your class. They will give some excuse. They will say that they had some work with other departments, like they had to go for physical education, they had to go for some sports activities or cultural activities. So they will just escape from your class, they will keep absent. They pretend to be sick, right? Some students ask that I am not well, I want to sleep. So you will ask them to go outside and go to the sick room or go to the canteen, have some tea and take rest there. They will not go. They will say, no, no, I will not go, I will remain in the class, but I will sleep. So they will get a permission from yourself, and they will sleep in your class, because they think that you have officially permitted him. So we do that out of some the affection what we have towards them, but they take it as an granted liberty from us, right? So these are some behaviors. We know some people are not genuine, they are just faking out, but still we are not able to do something, right? And they are scared to ask something. Sometimes you can see students will be having some questions, or they will be having some queries to be cleared, but they will be scared to ask. They will come to the department, they will be very scared to talk to you, right? So all these things happens because when they see that we scold other students very harshly, so they are afraid, when they come to you and ask something, you will scold them also. So that's why first thing, we should not scold any students, so that you can reduce the gap between yourself and student. You move more closer to the students. We have to understand them, right? We have to understand their behaviors, right? Parents refuse to believe, right? Students have this problem, lot of problems, that they will go and tell something in their home, parents will not believe in them. Often these type of things you can see, parents will be giving a different picture of their students, and they are often distracted. So these are some general behaviors that we see in our students every day, right? So we have to understand that behaviors. That is the most important thing. What you should do is, we have to understand them. Instead of getting angry and scolding them or yelling at them always, we have to understand why they are doing like that. Let me give you one good example on it. It's my own personal experience. I was working in a college with Coimbatore, in Coimbatore. It was the year something around 2008 or 2009. I see that one boy, every day he used to come to the class 5 minutes late. Every day, and the teacher will make him stand outside, right? They will not allow him to get in because he was 5 or 10 minutes late. So first day I saw he was standing outside. Second day I saw he was standing outside. Third day also he was again standing outside. So I called him. I said, what is this nonsense? Every day you come late and you stand outside. Definitely the teacher will be irritated, and the punishment what they are giving to you is right. Why do you do that? I also scolded him. He said, sorry sir, next day I will come on right time. I said, okay, go and stand. So he was standing outside. Again, next day he came late, and again he was standing outside. So when I saw that, I was so much irritated. Even after telling him so many times, again and again he is doing the same mistake. When you see him, his eyes would be red. So I had a wrong interpretation that he was doing something wrong. When you see red eyes, which is full of uh, uh, dozy like thing, right? So I was afraid that he's doing something wrong, and he's not good, right? So again, I started yelling at him, and I shouted at him like anything, right? I advised him also. Then I sent him back. Next day, same thing happened again. He came late and he was standing out of the class again. And this time I thought that I am failed. I have failed. Even after telling him lot of times, he is doing the same thing again. He won and I lost. I called him again. I said, "What is your problem? Don't you want to study? Or if you have some problem, just tell me." Uh, with a very pity voice, he said, "Nothing, sir." So that voice of his made me realize that really he is having some problem. Then I realized that I have done some mistake. I should not have yelled at him and I should not have scolded him. I should have asked him before priorly. So I asked him, "Okay, no problem. You just tell me whatever the problem is. Why are you coming late so many times? You are losing, you are paying so much of fees and you are coming to the class just for the sake of 5 minutes you are standing outside. So when you come to the classes at 9:35, why don't you come at 9:30? Why can't you come?" He said, "Sir, I can't come." I said, "Why? Tell me the reason." He said, "Leave it, sir. It's my fate. இது என் தலையெழுத்து அப்படின்னு. No, no, no. It's nothing called as fate. Everything has a solution. You can tell me if I can help you." He said, "Sir, I am the only child in my house. My father is not there. My father is no more. I have to take care of my mother. Mother is not well. She cannot earn. So I go for a part-time job. I work in a shop, right? He was working in a sweet stall. After college hours, college will be ending up at 5 o'clock. So he has to go to the sweet stall by 6 o'clock. From 6 to 10, he will stand in that shop selling sweets. And after 10 o'clock, he will go to the manufacturing center of that sweet stall and he will making sweets, right? He will be needing the entire night. He will be needing that batter and he will be making sweets. So lot of physical task he was doing. So by morning 4 o'clock, early morning 4 o'clock, his work will be over. So he will reach home by 5 o'clock. As soon as he reaches home 5 o'clock, he will be so tired. He will be asleep and he will sleep. And he is able to sleep only for 2 hours or 2.5 hours a day. In the entire day he was sleeping only for 2.5 hours or 3 hours a day. So he wakes up by 7:30 or 8 o'clock. He has his breakfast, and after having his breakfast he will uh, get a bus, and that bus will take him to the college at 9:35 only. So he has to get an bus. Previous bus means he has to start from his home at 7 o'clock in the morning. So if he starts from 7 o'clock in the morning, he cannot sleep even for 2 hours. So this was his routine. And he used to have food only twice a day. Morning breakfast, he will have something in his home. Then night dinner, he will have at the sweet stall. Uh, no lunch for him. No lunch for him. This was the routine for him. And his mother will also have only two times food for only 2 times a day. So this was the routine what he was going, and he was paying his fees. He was taking care of his home. He was just earning 2,000 or 2,500 rupees. So he said, "This is my situation, sir. What should I do?" So I really felt very bad for him that this boy is suffering so much, and instead of we learning his situation, we everybody of us in the department scolded him, and this boy never spoke up, right? When we scold, how will they express their feelings? நம்ம ஒருத்தரை திட்டும் போது அவங்க ஃபீலிங்ஸை எப்படி எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க? எதுவுமே சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க நம்ம கிட்ட. So that what happened to that boy. So I was very much I felt very bad that everything is what I did is wrong. Everything what everyone did is wrong, right? So very seriously started thinking of that boy, and by God's grace, I got an call from professional courier office. They used to supply couriers to my college. They said that, "Sir, if you have any boy who can work part time, we have an urgent vacancy today itself, he can join and we will pay him 2,000 or 2,500. I can pay him, sir." So I thought, this is the way the God has given to us. Right now, I was thinking of this boy, and immediately I got an offer from an company. I called that boy and said, go to that professional courier office, tell my name and join, and don't go to that street stall again. And they will pay you the same amount what you are getting there. And if you perform good, they will increase the salary also. So that boy was very happy. He started working from 6 to 9. So 9 o'clock, the office will be closed. He can go back home. He reaches home by 9:30 or 10, and he was having the entire night for his studies, for his sleep, rest, and everything. And he was totally transformed. That happened in first year, and when he came to second year and third year, he was totally transformed. The boy was entirely a different person, right? It just takes one of our thinking to understand somebody. So I believe everybody will be having some problems like that. What we have to do is we have to understand them. We have to take care of them personally. This is very important, and definitely these type of behaviors can be avoided, right? So what we can do is these to this type of um, challenging students, we can assign them some responsibility and leadership, right? We can assign them with some responsibility. We can give them some leadership, right? If, for example, you are organizing one program in your department, you give them some task. You tell them that you are the best boy who can do this. Yes, under your leadership, take. We used to do that when I have to arrange some chairs in auditorium. I have to arrange some 2,000, 2,500 chairs in the auditorium. So I have to take the students. So what I what I do is I just assign this type of leadership to these type of challenging students. I will tell them, make a team. You are the leader. You take 10, 15 students with you. Just lead them. And I want these chairs to be arranged within 2 p.m. You won't believe they will come back by 1 p.m. and say, sir, I have done. So I appreciate them for, because they are good in something. So again they will feel that we are associated with them. Again they will feel that they are having some importance in the department, right? So this is one method where you can what you can do. You give them some leadership, you give them some responsibility, and you believe them, you trust them that they will do it properly. Then you see the things will be different, right? And avoid negative faculty talk, right? You should not do that. You're sitting in your staff room giving some negative comments for that student. He will learn that, and he will not respect you when he feels that my teacher is not believing me, he is having a negative attitude towards me, he will not believe you, right? So avoid that. So even when you talk with your colleagues, you talk positively about him, right? Listen carefully and build trust. So everybody wants to be listened. You want to be listened, so again the other person wants to be listened. So listen to him carefully and build a trust, right? If he is telling you some problem of his, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it, you just listen. He just wants you to listen. He never wants you to take some action, or you be a part of his problem. He just wants you to listen that problem. So listen to him, right? Don't yes, this is very important point, right? Criticize the action, not the students. If he does something wrong, you tell him that the work what he has done is wrong. You don't tell him that you are wrong. அவன் செஞ்சதை தப்புன்னு சொல்லுங்க, அவனை தப்புன்னு சொல்லாதீங்க. Normally people do that. We criticize the student, right? Because they have done something wrong. So just by doing something wrong, he cannot become wrong, right? So don't criticize the student, just criticize the action. So he will realize that what he has done is wrong, right? I can give you a good example for that. In Africa, there is a tribe, right? If, for example, if somebody commits a crime, like somebody steals something, right? He's a thief. So what we will do in India, we will just tie him with an rope in some tree or pole, and we will stone him or we will beat him. You know what? In Africa, they are totally uneducated people, tribal people. You know what they do? If somebody does a crime, they will make him sit in the middle, and all the people of the society will sit him around him, and they will start speaking good of him, like, this is such a good fellow. He helped me once. I was starving, he gave me some food. I was thirsty, he gave me water. He helped me. He is such a good fellow, he is having such a good behavior. So all the positive things they will talk to him, and that fellow will realize that I am such a good person. Why did I do such a crime? Why did I do such a mistake? Everybody is having a very good opinion on my. Everybody is having a good opinion on myself. Then what I did was wrong. I should never do that back. So same way you can handle a student when he does something wrong. Tell him that what he has done is wrong. He's not wrong. He's a good person. Hello, madam. Fifty share aglinga. Oh, okay. Uh, uh, is PPT visible, madam?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, so, uh, so again, we have to tell him that what he did is wrong. Uh, he's not wrong, right? You are good. You are so good. You are having so good qualities. Then why and how can you do this wrong things, right? So they will realize and they will improvise, right? And display a personal interest on him, so that he believes that there is somebody who can listen to you, respect his individuality. He may be having good qualities, so respect his individuality. He may be good in something. I had a student who was very good in art, right? But all the teachers were scolding him that he was not attentive, he was not attending the classes properly. So everybody used to call him and scold him. So he was good in something. What was that? Is he was good in art. So what I did is, I wanted to give him an approach. I called him and said, I want a very good drawing of yours so that I can put it in our college magazine. So he said, no, sir. Every time I give my art, but that is not published in college magazine. I said, no, I'm not going to put your art in college magazine inside paper, inside pages. I'm going to put your art as the cover page of the college magazine. He was so happy that, sir, are you sure? Are you going to do that? I said, believe me, you just give me the best art that you can do, and that art will be the cover page of the college magazine this year. So he gave me. He was started, his behavior was totally different when he realized that the teacher is giving him so much of importance. His behavior totally changed. He came to me with some good art, and I said, I selected one of that and said, this year this is going to be the college art. And I took that art to every classroom and said, see how beautifully this boy has painted, and this is going to be the college magazine's cover page this year. And I did that, and every year I started doing that, right? I just find some best drawers in the people who draws very good, and that I use it as my cover page for my magazine. As my introduction, Madhivandana has said that I am an editor of magazine, so I use that for my magazine as a cover page, and they feel, and I put their name, cover page art by so and so, so they feel so happy about it. Okay, my college magazine is carrying my art. He will never forget it for his lifetime, right? So this is how you can change him, right? That is respecting his individuality. Talk to the parents positively. When the parents meet you, when the parents come and meet you, talk to them positive about the students, right? He is good in this, he is good in that, right? He can improve in this. That's the way we should talk to their parents, right? No students wants them to be criticized in front of their parents. So when you talk positively about a student to his parent, that student will respect you like anything, right? He will treat you like his god, right? Right? Build peer relationships. Peer relationship is among their friends, right? Make them a team. Assign them a teamwork. so that they can build their relationship. He is good in this, he is good in that, so associate yourself and do this, right? I do. When I organize some programs in our department or college, I ask somebody to design the invitation, I ask somebody to take the technical aspects of that, right? So they combine together and they do that, right? Don't isolate. This is very important. As I said, you already, don't isolate the student. When we start yelling at the student, they will just start going away from us, and they will isolate themselves. We will never know what's going on in their mind. They will lose their studies, they will lose their characters, then they will lose everything. So don't isolate the students. You keep them in your touch, you keep them in your circle, keep them in your contact. Always let their friends to be with him. You see that he is not sitting alone, he is not going alone, he's always with his friends, or he's always talking to any teachers. So that is the best thing, right? So don't isolate, and value the student. Everybody wants to be valued. You, me, anyone wants to be valued. And just value the students, and valuing the students will um, make them value you, right? It will happen, right? Now, efficient you, this is the one side of the classroom, and the other side is you. 60 70 students sitting on the other side, and one person handling that classroom. So you have to be efficient more than that 60% of that 60 students of that classroom, right? So how you can make yourself efficient? First thing starts with your personality. The physical thing, what students are students start admiring about you is your personality, right? So when you are a teacher, your personality should admire them, right from your attire, that is your dressing, right from the way you walk, right from the way you talk, right from the way you behave, your positivity, your optimism, everything comes under your personality, right? How you approach, how you take things, where you react, right? So all these things comes under your personality, right? So you have to improvise your personality, your language, communication, right? Never use colloquial language in classrooms. Or what happens when you use colloquial language in classroom? They will not find a difference between a classroom or other parts of the society. When he goes to the society, goes to the market, shop, or neighborhood, he will feel the same thing happening in your classroom also. So he will never respect that place. So don't use that colloquial language in classroom. You can use Tamil or English. The Tamil should be very decent, English should be very decent. So you have to work on your communication, so that uh, and never use some words that may be hurting to them, right? Which may, or never use some words which may develop some intimacy. So keep a distance, but be closer to them. So their language should be properly worked. You have to work on your language, you have to work on your communication, and the communication is the only medium where you can keep hold of them, right? Then you should be a team player. As I said, students learn from your behavior. So you, if you are a team player in your department, they will be a team player in their aspect, their position, right? So you should be a team player. You should associated with your colleagues. You should be associated with your other staff members of the department. All of you should play like a team, so that the students will learn from you that how important the team is, right? You have to update yourself, keep updating yourself. um, Whatever uh, whatever new technologies, whatever new subject matters comes, you have to update yourself, you have to keep learning, or else students will be a bit higher than you and they will not listen to you. When you don't know anything and they know something, how they will not respect you? So we have to keep updating ourselves, whatever aspect. So I keep updating myself, that I realized very much. So technically and all, I keep updating myself. I develop lot of multimedia contents. I develop lot of educational videos. Even I develop Android apps. All these things I keep doing, because I want to be a bit ahead of my students. A student can do this, I can do better. I should be able to teach him, not he teaching me. So we can learn from any source. That's not wrong, but we should not be unaware of that. That is more important. We should be learning that. We should keep updating ourselves, right? And he should be active, right? Our active participation in the classroom will make them active. You just go and take a write down notes of some points, go to the class, dictate them. Simply dictating, he will think these things I can get from net also, right? So you have to be very active in your role. The teacher, the role that you are playing is a teacher, so you have to be very active. So when you teach some points, we have to associate with the real time world. You give him some examples that he may not be knowing about them. So in that case he will respect you. He that in that case he will see that yes, you are giving something. The input that you are giving is more important. That these type of inputs you will not get. Always I tell them, see, I have prepared something for you which is which you will not get in net also. Even you find it in Google, you will not get it. I have taken a lot of efforts, and now listen to this. What is this? I'll make them make it interesting, and I'll get. And a lot of times I conduct a lot of activities in the classroom. I conduct a lot of activities in the classroom so that I keep them engaged. So I am active, they are active, my class is active. And you have to be a leader, right? You have to be a leader of them. They have to follow you. The best quality of a leader to make others follow you. So you have to be a leader, you have to lead them, right? You should take the initiative and others have to follow you, right? And how to be effective? Be a good classroom manager. What is a classroom manager? See, students sitting in different rows, right? There is one methodology called as KVA or AVK, you can say, right? Students sitting in the first and second row are more they want more of audio things. They want to listen. A means audio, right? They want to listen more. So that's why they come and sit in the first and second rows, right? They learn from listening. Students sitting in the third and fourth rows are more into video, visualizing. They want to see. So they want to listen to you. They want to see you, and they want to see everyone all. So sitting in the middle benches will give them a 360-degree view. They can look around everyone, what others are doing, what his friends is doing, and what teacher is doing, what you are writing on the board, what you are speaking, everything they can see. So students sitting in the third and fourth bench are more of visual oriented, and students sitting in fifth and fourth and fifth benches or fifth and sixth benches um, are more kinesthetic. They want they don't want just they just don't want to listen, they just don't want to see, they want to do, they want to test it, they want to do and learn. Whatever you tell them, they want to check it practically, right? So even when you tell them lot of things, they will just be not attentive. They will get what they want to get, but they will believe or they will learn only if they do it. So you have to find some methodologies where you are engaging all the students. I teach one subject called entrepreneurship, and when I teach that subject, I see that students sitting in the first and second benches write everything. Students sitting in the middle benches, they also write, but they keep looking around. And students sitting in the last benches, they hardly write, but they know everything. When I ask a question, the answer will come from the last benches, because I take my class very practically. I'll just give live demonstrations, case studies, and all these success stories of entrepreneurs and all these things. When we discuss, I discuss about business ideas, plans. So what we should do, how we can do. Now this is the time. For example, this is the time of pandemic, COVID-19 situation is there. What type of business will be successful here? So when you ask this, the answer will come from the last benches. So they are more active, right? So you have to be a good classroom manager. You have to manage all categories of people over there, right? And when you are able to do that, definitely you are a good teacher. Know how to teach a lesson. That's what I said. Everybody is yeah, somebody may be having learning disabilities, so there we have to find some new methodologies to teach them, right? We always find methodologies to teach, we never find methodologies to learn, right? We work on more methods of teaching, effective methods of teaching, but we never work on effective methods of learning. Being a teacher, we just see ourselves. நான் எப்படி டீச் பண்றது, நான் எப்படி சொன்னா அவனுக்கு புரியும் மட்டும் தான் பார்ப்போம். அவனுக்கு எப்படி கற்றுக் கொடுத்தா அவன் கற்றுப்பான்றதை நம்ம யோசிக்க மாட்டோம். ஸோ அவனுக்கு எப்படி கற்றுக் கொடுத்தா அவன் கற்றுப்பான் அப்படின்றத நம்மளுக்கு தெரியணும். ஸோ வாட் வி ஷுட் டூ to make him learn, what is the methodology which is comfortable for him to learn. So we have to follow that. So that everybody is participating in our teaching learning process and everybody is learning. So, and show positive expectations. So never criticize any student, just give a positive expectation, ask questions. When I ask questions, when they answer, I say there is no wrong answers, it's just your opinion, so you can tell me. So don't be afraid that your answer will be wrong. Your answer will be always right. Whatever you are going to tell is your opinion, so your answer will be right. So just don't hesitate to give answer, just give your answer. So that is positive expectations what we can show to the students, right? All you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. கையில சுத்தியில இருந்து கையில சுத்தி மட்டும் தான் இருந்துச்சுன்னா இடிக்க தான் செய்யும், right? So instead of that, if we have more tools with us, we can take it, we can choose the appropriate tool to handle the task, right? When you go to the classroom, what you know is only scolding. Keep on scolding right from the beginning to the end. We will keep on scolding. But if you have other tasks, if you have other appropriate tools, you can handle it very properly, I believe, right? Sorry, we'll just go fast. We'll move fast. So what a teacher should do, should have a positive motivation. They should create interest, enthusiasm. They should remove fear from the students, right? So that is very important. The students hesitate, just try to remove that hesitation, make everybody participate in their teaching learning process. Effective body language, gestures, body movements, verbal skills. Your when you speak, you just observe yourself, how you are moving, how your hands are moving, how you are expressing yourself. Are you walking more, or you're not at all walking, or you're shaking more, or you're not at all shaking? So body language gives a very important impact on others. So your communication should be supported with your body language, so that whatever you want to express is reaching to them properly, right? Sense of humor is very important. That sense of humor will keep the classroom live and active, but don't confuse it with some dirty jokes, in the sense, I mean, you are hurting someone and making others to laugh is not a joke, is not sense of humor. So nobody should be hurted, nobody should be influenced by the joke what you put in the in middle of your conversation. That joke should be enjoyed by all. So that's a real sense of humor. So you should develop such things, not by hurting some specific person and making others enjoy. It's not a good kind of approach. And understanding the students, so prefer a dialogue instead of monologue. Dialogue means two-way communication, monologue means only you speak and others listen. So that should not be there. There should be a dialogue between you and the students. You discuss something, ask them to tell something, discuss on both the ways. So there should be a two-way communication, so that the distance between you and the students is reduced. And there should be a teamwork. Whenever you organize something, you have to adopt that teamwork, so that the teamwork is effective, that you are able to go with it. And have to be technical skill, in the sense you have to be updated with the lato techno tools. That lato techno tools will be very very important for you, right? For example, see, now we have to adopt ourselves, right? A good teacher should always foster quality life, right? He should build a long term relationship, inculcate social and moral values, and teach them to be organized, develop skills, and motivate. So, for simply speaking, a good teacher should be able to foster a quality life in the student. Right? Fostering quality life means you have to motivate the students. You have to motivate the students, and you have to give some values where he can lead a better quality life, right? and you have to build a long-term relationship. It is not just that after his graduation is over, your teacher-student relationship is over. It should be a long-term relationship. You have to see how he's doing in his career, how better he can do. You can always be an advisor for him. You can always be a well-wisher for him. Even he takes some careers, he can be good in that. Then inculcate and social and moral values. It's more important. uh, in schools and colleges in Japan, they inculcate that social values more, right? So that social and moral values should be inculcated, and that can be done only through a teacher. So we conduct lot of extension activities, but most of the time what happens, these extension activities are just for an record purpose or namesake. So it should not be. We have to make them realize that we are the people who have to take care of the society. We have what we have to do. I have a team of students in Anjak. During this pandemic period, they were very active. They collected money from some contributors. They arranged food for 100 people who are homeless, and every day they supplied food for 100 people in Shivakasi who are homeless, right? Because they were not getting proper food. So that is the social values the students are having, right? So for that they funded, they raise fund from people who can contribute, right? And they explained them, and to reduce the cost they supplied by themselves. Instead of hiring somebody, they supplied themselves. So such a kind of moral values and social values they were having. And teach them to be organized. See, this is very important. Unorganized will always lead to failures. When you are organized, always there will be success. And develop skills. You have to develop skills so that you can develop skills in your students and motivate them, keep motivating them, right? So in the last, I would just like to say that teaching is the art of assisting discovery, right? So you are helping your students to make discoveries, right? They are good, they have a lot of ideas, they are the power plant of ideas, they are the future of our nation.